Our neighbors called my grandparents Amazing Grace and Old Rugged Ross. I loved Grandpa Ross and Grandma Grace, who lovingly helped raise me and teach me to ranch, garden, and sit on the porch swing listening to the birds sing while twiddling our thumbs. My grandparents fell victim, however, to a narrow and harmful interpretation of this beloved parable of Jesus. Many churches, preachers, and teachers have told the greatest story of Jesus in such a way that hearers like my grandparents were ready to divide the world, even their families, between the faithful and the prodigals. Could it be that the most popular interpretation of this parable has been badly bungled? Here's how such an interpretation of the parable impacted my family. My grandparents had two sons, my dad and my Uncle Rudy. One day when Rudy was an adult, he used a new translation of the Bible to teach a class in the small Kansas town church where my grandfather was an elder. The other elders decided this version was not authorized and took over Rudy's teaching responsibilities. One elder's way of teaching the class was to say that the old half of the Bible did not matter. The takeover of his class and the misleading teaching led my uncle and his family to attend a church up the road. The fallout was swift. My grandpa, humiliated, resigned as elder, believing he was no longer qualified because his youngest son had left the truth. Many families understand what it is like to have conflict with their relatives. When my uncle would visit his parents, tension filled the air. Normal things that would ordinarily be reasons for celebration, like the time he told his parents he had baptized his children, became awkward. My grandparents could only return blank stares, silence, and whispers of grave concern. They were now worried not only about their son's eternal state, but their grandchildren's as well. Meanwhile, Uncle Rudy and Aunt Kathy served for decades at that church up the road. A woman at their church once told my uncle he could be thankful his parents cared enough to take a stand, even if wrongly handled. He said he holds no grudges, just grief for what was lost. There is much lost in many families that take an excluding line against prodigals in their own families. I am not claiming my read on the parable is the only one or even the right one. But I want to excavate and re-examine interpretations of the Bible in general, and this parable in particular, that do harm to people.